A requirement for enlightenment and ascension is to separate yourself from humanity in its present state, and its sinful influence, to evolve. Mankind has lived in the highest mountains, in the deepest parts of the sea, and in the deepest parts of the earth, to get far away from the influences of sin, and evil influences. Tibet is a region located on the Tibetan Plateau in Central Asia, often called the roof of the world, because it sits at an average elevation of about 4,500 meters, 14,800 feet, above sea level, the highest region on Earth. Tibet lies on a vast plateau surrounded by some of the world's highest mountains, including the Himalayas to the south. Mount Everest, on the Tibet-Nepal border, is part of this region. Tibet's dominant and deeply rooted religion is Tibetan Buddhism, a unique form of Buddhism that blends Mahayana Buddhist philosophy with ancient Tibetan spiritual traditions, especially Bon, the region's indigenous pre-Buddhist faith. Tibet's extreme altitude, thin air, and harsh climate made travel and invasion difficult for centuries, limiting outside contact. Because it was shielded from wars and foreign influence, Tibetan thinkers, mystics, and monks had the freedom to focus on philosophy, meditation, and inner exploration. In Tibetan cosmology, mountains are sacred, seen as the dwelling places of gods. Living in high places symbolized spiritual elevation, rising above worldly distractions and reaching closer to enlightenment. Monasteries were often built on cliffs or peaks, not only for defense but also as symbols of detachment from the material world and connection to the divine. Shangri-La first appeared in James Hilton's 1933 novel Lost Horizon. In the story, a group of travelers survives a plane crash in the Himalayas and discovers a hidden valley, a mystical, peaceful kingdom called Shangri-La, ruled by wise monks who live in harmony with nature and enjoy astonishingly long lives. Hilton's Shangri-La was a fictional creation, but it drew heavily from ancient Tibetan and Buddhist legends of hidden lands known as Shambahla. In Lost Horizon, Shangri-La is a utopian sanctuary, a place untouched by time, war, or corruption. The people live in perfect balance, spiritually awakened, intellectually refined, and deeply compassionate. The air is pure, the environment serene, and there is no greed, violence, or decay. It is a vision of paradise on earth, hidden deep within the mountains, accessible only to those destined to find it. One of Shangri-La's most captivating elements is its mystery of eternal youth. Those who live there age very slowly. This longevity is not just physical but spiritual, a reflection of inner peace, moderation, and detachment from the material world. Hilton used this idea to suggest that spiritual balance leads to timelessness. When one lives in harmony with truth and nature, the boundaries of time fade. Before Hilton's novel, Tibetan Buddhism spoke of a hidden kingdom called Shambhala, located somewhere beyond the snow peaks of the Himalayas. In Buddhist tradition, Shambhala is not merely a physical place, it's a state of consciousness, a realm of enlightenment ruled by a wise and compassionate king. The people of Shambhala live in perfect harmony, waiting for a future time when they will re-emerge to renew the world with wisdom and peace. Shambhala is first mentioned in the Kalachakra Tantra, one of the most sacred texts of Tibetan Buddhism. According to the scriptures, Shambhala is a hidden kingdom located somewhere beyond the snow-capped Himalayas, a place of great beauty, wisdom, and peace, invisible to ordinary eyes. It is said that only those with pure hearts and spiritual maturity can find or even perceive it. In the legend, Shambhala is a perfect society, a luminous realm ruled by wise and compassionate kings who follow the teachings of the Buddha. Its citizens live in harmony, free from greed, hatred, and ignorance. There is no disease, poverty, discrimination or war, only spiritual growth, learning, and joy. At the center of Shambhala stands a radiant palace, surrounded by lotus gardens, rivers of crystal water, and mountains glowing like gold under a morning sun. To the people of Tibet, Shambhala is both a real place and a spiritual ideal, a reflection of what the world could be if governed by leaders of compassion and wisdom. According to the Kalachakra prophecy, there will come a time when the world falls into chaos, when greed, materialism, corrupt leaders, and war cover the earth. In that dark age, the forces of ignorance will triumph. Then, from the hidden kingdom of Shambhala, the 25th king, known as Rudra Chakran, the wrathful wheel-turner, will emerge. He will lead an army of light, not merely soldiers, but enlightened beings, to defeat and destroy the corrupt leaders. This final battle is not one of physical violence, but of spiritual awakening, where truth overcomes lies. Many explorers searched for Shambhala as a geographical location. The great lamas and mystics taught that it exists on a higher plane of reality, a subtle dimension accessible only through spiritual purification and deep meditation. It is said that one enters Shambhala not by walking, but by awakening. To find Shambhala, a seeker must conquer the inner mountains of ego, ignorance, and desire, transforming their heart, mind, and character to mirror good. When the heart becomes pure, the path reveals itself, for Shambhala lies within the human soul. Shambhala symbolizes the enlightened mind, the state of complete harmony and divine awareness that exists within every human being. When the inner stargate to enlightenment, and outer worlds align in peace, Shambhala is revealed. Tibetan teachers often say, when the world is ready, Shambhala will appear. But when the heart is ready, it is already there. Thus, it teaches that heaven is not far away, but hidden behind the veil of ignorance, waiting for us to open our eyes. Shambhala is a call to spiritual awakening. It reminds humanity that paradise cannot be built through power or conquest, but through the purification of the heart. Shambhala is not hidden by mountains, it is hidden by ignorance. When compassion replaces hatred and wisdom conquers greed, Shambhala will manifest, both within us and in the world.